All right, Diego, what do you got for me this week?
Jess actually picked this one up. Check it out.
Kai. Okay, so I think this is Kylie Jenner's brand. How much was this?
This was actually 98 USD.
Strapless mini dress. I think this was from their first launch. This bag is compostable. Do not place this bag into plastic recycling stream. We obviously, being in manufacturing, I have a lot of different packaging for clients. When I see compostable bags, I get it, but it's a little greenwashing because not every single place actually even has compost. And you're gonna have to keep that in mind when creating a product like this. This might be compostable. This plastic stripe for the glue is not compostable. So it's a little bit greenwashing. You know, if you go with the regular plastic bag, in reality, it doesn't use that much plastic and it can go into the regular recycling stream. All right, so this is a mini dress here with a large metal zipper. It's YKK, it's actually a really nice zipper. This is made in China. This is what people call vegan leather or fake leather. It's not leather, it's polyurethane coated fabric. I think that's one of the biggest things that kind of irks me with in the industry when that is another kind of like sustainable leather. All those kind of things are really just marketing gimmicks. There actually are plant-based leathers, but I'm probably not gonna make a product like this out of it. So in reality, when you're buying something like this, just know it is not leather, it is not vegan leather, it is polyurethane. We have a mesh liner on the inside. We have two pockets here on the chest. They're actual functional pockets too. It's a nice design element. I don't know how practical this might be. You know what, you're probably gonna put like your credit card or lipstick or something when you're going out. These zippers aren't cheap. They're pretty high quality. When it comes to creating a product though, if you're creating stuff for your brand, avoid metal zippers for anything to do with pockets. Anytime you put your hand in here, it's just gonna get scratched up like crazy. Stick to using metal zippers only for main zippers. We have obviously the hanger straps here. There's some foam pads here. You know, when it comes to a garment like this, I've actually seen photos of Kylie wearing this online and it looks great on her. But because the material doesn't have that much stretch in it, you have to keep in mind, Kylie was probably the fit model for this garment, so they designed the dress around her body type. The further you are away on both ends, the less this dress is going to look as intended and might not look as good. So when I actually look at this, the workmanship's actually pretty decent on this. And you said it was how much?
98 USD.
I don't think they're actually making that much money on this garment. I think this is more of kind of like a launch statement piece. And whoever designed this clearly knows what they're doing. So what they could have done and what a lot of brands would have done is just have a one-piece liner on the inside. But what's going to happen is that one-piece liner is going to float and it's not going to sit as nicely as the outside. But another reason why they actually have all these different panel pieces on the liner itself is to actually hide the seams. Every single seam on the inside reflects what's on the outside. And if you don't have this and you have this as a one-piece liner, you'll actually see all the seams underneath. So this is a great way when you're designing a garment like this to hide those seams and to provide a little additional comfort when wearing this garment. So kudos to the designer. They clearly knew what they're doing here. You have also a KHY hang tag here, as well as the KHY branding. This hang tag is a little skewed to the left. Usually when you're printing stuff like this, you're going to be printing them and then you're going to be cutting them. So this one's just off a little bit. Not a huge deal, but something to keep in mind for brands. Sometimes if you're going to put a logo, they're far enough inside so that when stuff like this does happen, and these are called manufacturing tolerances, it's not as noticeable. We have our woven label here. So we have piping elements here. With these foam pads, what they're going to actually have done is they're going to be cutting out this element and they're going to cut this pad separately, and then they are going to be molding it with the foam to give this kind of aesthetic and sewing it back. Was this necessary? Maybe, maybe not. It probably just brings some visual interest to the hips. So overall, I would say like the workmanship on this is pretty decent, especially being sold at $98. So this is obviously more of a unique piece. You're not gonna be wearing this all the time. Let's send this over to Jess. So looking at this dress, it's definitely a statement piece. You're either gonna love it or you're gonna hate it. What I would say again, because of this fabric and because of the fit model, you just have to be very mindful of how well this dress is going to fit on your particular body type. All right, so we're back. Now that we've seen what this dress looks like and how it fits, let's take this apart and I want to show you all the components you need to make this dress. All All right, so now that we've begun to start taking this all apart, you can see what I mean by vegan leather. If we actually look at this material here, this is a fleece fabric. We have the inside liner right here. And this is going to contain all the mesh, as well as the other trims. So this is what we call a bonded material. We have the outside shell, and it's gonna be bonded to the inside fabric. And you can actually bond two different fabrics of different properties to give you ultimately what you want. In this case, we have the polyurethane shell, and on the inside, we have fleeced inside. It's gonna make this feel a lot more comfortable, so you don't have that kind of cold feeling when you're putting on a garment like this. Here is the backing for the foam pads, and then here are the pocket bags. So let me kind of take these elements off. So I'm actually not gonna take this entire dress apart just because it might be confusing with all the different panel pieces, but I just wanted to show you this piping element and how it's actually done. So when you're going to be folding over the edge, you're actually just going to be inserting a different kind of element. In this case it is a bungee cord. And by folding over the edge and having this bungee cord on the inside, that is how you get that piping look. Actually, probably if I sit here, pull up the whole bungee. This is how you get your piping. Interesting. Piping is different colors. Might just be the size or the diameter. So one interesting element is the piping board for the side details or the back details are different. Two reasons for this. Could be that these are different diameters, or this factory has blue cords for the side and black for the middle, just to make sure they're never mixed up. And you'll see here, in terms of the foam pads, these are the elements that are the back of these patches. And then you have your foam pads. And then these are gonna be sewn together with this acetate material. Once that's sewn together, then they're sewn into the dress itself. All right, so here are all the elements that you need to make this mini dress from KHY. You have your 25-inch front main zipper. You have your front chest pocket zippers and mesh pocket bags. You have your foam pad elements, your bungee cord for your piping. You have your polyurethane exterior. You have your interior mesh liner. You have your front zipper cover, as well as your care label and hand tag. All right, so now that you know all the components to make this dress, let's really talk about it. This being her first drop for her new company, she's really trying to make an impact. And when I look at this garment, you know, it's clearly a statement piece. It's so unique. You're not gonna be wearing this out day to day. This is something you wear to a club maybe once, and it looks really great, but it's not really that practical. I think when you look at the components to make this dress, it's not done on the cheap. You know, there's care and attention to make this garment. Could have been a lot more ways to cut costs, but I don't think that was their goal of this garment. At $98 retail, with the product cost, you wouldn't be able to build and scale a company marking this up. You know, this is zipper alone, 25-inch YKK size 8, depending on the volume ordering, and it's obviously a metal zipper as well. Depending on the volume ordering, this is gonna cost between $6 and $8. These zippers alone could be around $1.50 to $2. I like the fact that the mesh on the inside wasn't just one giant panel piece. There was a thought and intention to cover the seams. The supply chain and whoever they're manufacturing this with knows what they're doing. Again, there's not a lot of workmanship defects on this, and a price of $98, it'd be very hard for any brand to grow with that margin. There's a lot of tiny little components here. Even this foam is gonna come from a different supplier than this main body material. It's coming from a different supplier than these panel pieces. The mesh is a different supplier. There's a lot of different components coming from various different suppliers to make this garment. For me to make this in China, probably be around like $15 to $20. So if you're taking into account shipping and duties and tariffs to bring this into the US and sell it, she's maybe making a 4x, maybe 3.5x markup. This is okay when you're growing a company that particular pieces you don't make that much money on, but it draws in the crowd, draws in the attention, so that when you start doing subsequent drops, you can start making money on other pieces. I would say this is pretty well made. If this is your aesthetic and you can fit into this is pretty good value. So there you have it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and let us know what other products you want to see on this show. This is what it costs.